I'm Roger Leonard, representing the International Academy of Biblical Studies, and with me today I have two brothers from Honduras.
Hello, my name is Carlos Hernandez. I am a preacher at a congregation in Honduras in a rural area, and I'm happy to be here.
My name is Cesar. I am a local preacher in the capital city of Honduras, Tegucigalpa. I am very glad to be here before you.
One of the purposes of our school is to help preachers in different places in the world to mature their congregations and help them with some ideas about how to get their congregation someday to the point of having elders. But there are a lot of things that these brothers shared with me today that I wanted them to share with you. So Carlos, what were some of the things that you were telling us today that you feel like the churches and maybe some of the preachers need help with?
Yes, one of those things that we were talking with brother Roger is the necessity for the congregations to understand the step-by-step on how to get to a point where a man qualified to be elders, not only to have those qualifications, but how to help them from the beginning, like from whenever they become Christians for the first time. Another thing that we talked about also is about helping the congregation on how to better manage the money, the church money, and how to get to a point where each member in our congregations learn how to give in a better manner, and so that we become more independent in the economical part in our congregations, and that will help a lot. And we would really enjoy to have classes like those taught to our preachers, our ministers, our leaders, and the congregations.
And one of the other things that we were talking about was how we can motivate our members of the church, mostly the men and the women also, how they can be involved in doing this or that in the church, in the congregation that we are working with, and how they can be useful, that they feel that they are useful for doing this or that for the growth of the congregation as spiritually as numerically also.
You brothers were sharing with me earlier that sometimes when a preacher maybe passes away or leaves, maybe the congregation itself will cease to exist. But then you were talking about another congregation that the preacher, I don't remember if you said he died or what, but the men started taking responsibility. So what do you think the difference would be between those two congregations, and how could we help that?
Well, one of the needs that we see that we need to train more men in the church, because when the preachers, we are not eternal in the congregations, and due to this we need more men being prepared for that. Eventually, some congregations have lost their preachers, and they don't have a preachers now. Due to this, some congregations have closed their buildings, and they are not attending. Nobody's attending to these buildings now. It's a very sad situation, but we need to train more men in the congregation so they can be part of the activities of the congregation, so they can be still working and progressing more and more. Because sometimes preachers, they go for whatever reason.
So what we're trying to do through the International Academy of Biblical Studies is talk to men like this and listen to them and see what their needs are and find ways and means to help them. We're not to do their work, but to help them do their work better. And there's some preachers in some places that have never had the chance to go to school or had any training. So we look to our stronger men in these countries, and they can reach out to them through seminars or lectureships or sometimes just visiting. So I wanted to talk to these men today to help you understand from their perspective what some of the needs are. And so we talked about the need to help the congregation each member learn to that they have a responsibility.
Yes.
To learn about the giving and the financial aspects, and what to do so that if the preacher is no longer there, the church does not cease to exist. Those are three important things, aren't they?
Oh yes.
And so we want to help men like this help their brothers and sisters, and we want to do this worldwide. So
Amen.
We're thankful to God for the opportunity to share this with you today, and I'm thankful for these brothers' time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pausa.